Good morning. Quite cooler today. Overcast and 53 as you're waking up. High today only at 68. What were we at? 84ish yesterday? Drastic change from one day to the next after a storm passes through. And we have to say, woo, thank you. The bad weather was not bad for us in our area at all as it drifted off to the northeast. We were very fortunate yet again. We've had a good run so far when it comes to severe weather this year. A complete look at the details of the weather forecast coming up in a little bit. Becky Brown should be dropping by this morning. Tell us about the big show that's coming up this weekend at the old Tuesday Morning building. Spring, big sale, lots of arts and crafts and things will be happening Saturday morning. So Becky will be here to tell us about that during the morning show at 7. How do you feel today? I certainly hope good as we all begin this together and get on the same page. And again, today, one of those days, not a burning day at all. Too windy out there. We're going to have gusts of about 35 today, and then I believe even tonight we should still have somewhere around 25-mile-an-hour gusts. So a day to keep away from burning. It'll get better. Be able to get rid of your boxes before long. All right, let's get a good thing going here and get into go to Collinsville now. Let's get a good word.
One of the most concerning scenarios we face in the Christian life is when we have a person around us, around our church, in our life who seems to be a
We live in an ever-changing world. The pace of change can be difficult to keep up with, and the impact of change can be overwhelming. We can always be certain that things will change. One of the things that will remain absolute throughout time, though, will be God's truth expressed in Scripture and in the redeeming work of His Son, Jesus Christ. In 1 John 2, 21 through 25, John speaks of these truths. In verse 24, he says, "See that what you have heard from the beginning remains in you. If it does, you will also remain in the Son and in the Father." As believers, what we have heard from the beginning will not change. What God has said will remain and continue to be our guide in every area of life. The gospel will always be the good news of how to know Christ and follow Him. And we need to abide in these truths. We need to ask God to give us faith to believe when we don't believe. As we abide and remain in these truths, it will be evidence that we do indeed belong to God as His children. Thanks be to God that we have His truths and that as we persevere in these truths, God will be faithful and keep us secure for eternity. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. We got that straightened out. Wednesday. Wow, middle of the week. Can y'all believe that? Hump Day is, Odie will tell you in just a little while as we all plan together to have a wonderful day. Let's see, a lot of you already up and at 'em, stirring, getting ready for the day as we begin it. So far this morning, we had a structure fire not far from fire station number 1. A couch caught fire in a home. Everybody's okay. It's all been extinguished and everything's back to normal. Thank goodness we hadn't had any loss of life or a complete home. That's good. Fire department was all over that this morning. Overnight, I don't think... headlines this morning, overnight, I'll tell you about what happened, but I don't think this will happen. If they take John Wayne Airport and change the name because he was a real manly guy and they feel that it was offending people, I doubt this will go through. We have a couple of Republicans that are trying to rename Dulles Airport. We've heard of that. It's in Virginia. They want to name it Trump International. Now, my gut tells me that'll never happen. But they're trying. I thought we would pass that along to you just to let you know what's going on out there. Let's see, do you remember the shooting that we had over Easter weekend in Nashville? 1 killed, 5 injured. They've arrested a suspect on this. 46 years old. His name is Anton Rucker. He's the suspect. He killed a 33-year-old man. Again, 5 others shot. Horrifying Easter weekend. Why would you do that? We do have Oklahoma. Things happen we never know about. We had 2 mothers that were riding together. I think they were friends to go pick up their children. They never made it. It was last week. They found their car abandoned on the side of the road as Oklahoma looks for answers. One mother was 27, the other 39. No clue, nothing at the scene. We'll see what becomes of it. They're frantically looking for them. we hope this has a good ending to it, but this many days into it, as we all know, it's scary how the outcome will be. We go to the University of Kentucky next. And again, this has no age. It's awful, and the word I'm talking about is cancer. You know the dance teams that they have at each one of these colleges? She's 23. She's lost her life to cancer. Well, she was actually 20. I was a couple years off. 20 years old, she had a rare type of bone cancer. We pass along to condolences to her family. Her name was Kate Coughlin. Beautiful girl. Again, cancer doesn't care who it goes after at any age, but an awful story to have to wake up and tell you about. Another thing that went on overnight in the early morning hours of a different time zone, Taiwan was struck by an earthquake. 7 dead and 700 or more are injured this morning as buildings have collapsed as they go through the rubble trying to rescue everyone. We certainly hope there's no other losses of life this morning. It was one of those earthquakes. I watched the video to it from a coffee shop, and it seemed to go on and on and on. A lot of times it's just a quick little shudder. This was a major earthquake. 7 dead, 700 injured as we look at that. 7.4 is what it registered. That's pretty strong. What else is happening this morning? We see more and more of this as America. We have other countries that are always, trying to take us down. They work on that nonstop, while internally we fight over things that we shouldn't be. Take, for example, the transgender issue here of one sport and all, as we see that a bearded 6-foot-tall transgender athlete who knocked down a rival during school basketball games was suspended from the rowing team. Now, a beard, high school, knocked down a female. Is this safe? I don't think so. A few years ago, none of this would have been allowed because women's rights have been destroyed in the last 4 to 5 years. Have y'all noticed this? That's what I see, and I may be viewing it wrong. But everything that was fought for up until now is just really going south, and I don't understand. People can get hurt badly. I'm not saying that there's a lot of people who say women can do anything. Yes, they can, but we'll leave it at that. You know what I mean. We hope no one's ever gets physically harmed for life over something that could have been stopped. Headlines that are very confusing, as I mentioned, that goes on in America that we somehow seem to argue about that makes no sense. Talented and gifted classes, they're all across the United States. Was I ever in one? Absolutely not. I was not that gifted. I was not that talented, smart guy. I was that average guy that done about C's in high school. But I do know that they're out there. And it's great to have programs that serve them. They're smarter. I know that there's people smarter than me. We go to Seattle to where they're going to be shutting those down at a high school because, they feel that too many Asian students and too many white people are in the classes because they're in the gifted. It's called applying. I don't care what race you are, but that should not be a reason to shut down a program because of the race that's in it. But that's the way it happened there. Pete, am I pronouncing this guy's name? Pete Buttigieg? How do you say? Buttigieg. Yeah. That's a toughie. I cannot say it right, so I apologize to him. But he's mad and he's mocking Americans because they're making fun of electric cars. They're going to do their very best if they stay in office to phase out that Mustang with the 289. They just really don't want any gas engines or that 305. They don't want them. It's bad. The more horsepower you got, the more they want to get rid of them. He's comparing it to people who only wanted to keep landline phones. I don't think so. This is major difference. Major difference. And as we all know, Ford and Chevrolet has caught on to that because they're losing millions of dollars. People aren't buying them. If you want one, fine. But don't force it upon the American people when they don't want something. But that seems to be the trick there. Those are some of the headlines that are shaping America this morning. Oh, Pete, Was he qualified for that job?
No, he
I
qualified.
didn't think he was.
He ran for president against Biden.
Yeah, he did run for president, didn't he?
Dropped out, so Biden.
He had to drop out, and they gave him a job so he wouldn't take. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Oh, Pete, hang in there, buddy. Get you a golf cart. Going to work today. We'll be right back as we get this morning underway for you. Put a smile on. It's all going to be good. The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles? A GMC Denali or a 2024 Silverado 2500? Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low-mileage cars and trucks.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
A record highs and record lows. 1934, it was a high of 88 today. As we go back to 62, a little bit cooler there. It was 31 on this date. Again, this morning we're sitting at 53, so no record breakers. We're just kind of in the middle as we look at what's happening there. Now, this is the high expected today, 68, but breezy. You see those flags flapping? Yep, it'll be that way from the Mississippi River all the way across to Alabama, as we'll have wind gusts of somewhere around 35 today. That's heavy. Don't burn anything as we go into this. As we look at Bama as well, 68 there in Demopolis, and it should be the same as we come across and look at Livingston, all the way up to Anniston, 64, 63 in Birmingham. Now, here it is. Strong winds possible today. Gust of 30 to 40 is what they're putting that. Sustained winds at 20 to 25. So strong, and stronger as we look at this. And again, this can cause limbs to fall, knock out power. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Here's the outlook over the next 10 days. Warmer weather creeping into Mississippi. We do see a little bit leaving California there that's cooler. The outlook for the next 7 days calls for 68 today and tomorrow. Down to the 40-degree mark tonight. Brr. As we move into Friday, it starts shaping up 71. By Saturday, we're still at 70. So many events going on Saturday, but it will be perfect weather to get out. 0% chance of rain. Lows that night around 46. And then we start seeing warmer temperatures. Isn't 7 lucky? 77 on Sunday, and will remain that way through about Tuesday as showers move into the forecast on Tuesday afternoon. And we should have a few more there for a couple of days. Sunshine returning on the 12th. Look at these highs as we go back near 80. 79, 78, they're around mid-month there through the 16th and 17th. We'll watch it closely and let you know how this shapes up. But rain, as always, was what we get in April. Now, what's happening with the fishing today? Chet's Paint and Body tells us the best time to be on the creek bank today is 8:30 to about 10:30. Will be your prime fishing time. A minor time will happen around lunch, right after it, from 1 until about 3. But look at that wind there. West wind 10 to 15, increasing to 15 to 20 by the afternoon, and gust of about 35. Even could go to 40. That's pretty bad, isn't it? But it's going to happen, so be ready for that. It's not a great hair day. Odie's ready for it. He's prepared. Hope you are too. Aquanet, that should help, or a cowboy hat. I walked around a lot yesterday holding on to my hat. Today, I'm sure I'll have to. It'll certainly take it away from you. We're less than 10 minutes away from starting the morning show. Won't you join us? It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll learn a few things that happened overnight. What's coming up this weekend, as Becky tells us there. I hope she brought snacks for everybody.
Nothing.
It didn't look good over there, did it, Odie? I think that woman is left snackless. Showed up at the studio. We'll be right back as we get the morning show underway at 7. Won't you join us? We'll see you then.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.